What's good, Realmers? Welcome back to Rich's Realm. Hope you're having a good day. Now, as I'm still continuing my break away from Marvel Realm, I'm also excited for the future. As I said, I'll be taking a break and returning back. Some people didn't really kind of understand that, but it's just really going to point out that there's a lot of burnout from this game that I had, especially with the extensive grind capable in order to get certain stuff, but also the way that there wasn't really anything added in, something that I could just go, hey, I don't want to play Arena Conquest today, or I don't want to play it at the moment or for a length of time. I'd rather just do myself some solo-based participation, some other quests, some other things that I've gone. It doesn't mean I have to do Marvel Realm of Champions Conquest grind all the time. So, what have Kabam got for us? Well, as we said in the 3.0 update, there will be something coming in that's going to be more solo-based. And this is something that I'm quite excited for. It's called Pinnacle Quests. So, I've got the early access info here as part of the Marvel Realm CTP. As I said, I will be back in May for the 3.0 release, and I'll be uploading regular content. I'll be going back to some old guide videos to do, but at the same time I am pushing a lot of things on Conquest and the Rich the Man channel, so do bear in mind, do bear with me. Either way, this thing here, so we've been hard at work on our 3.0 build, and there's so much goodness for you to sink your teeth in. 3.0 is literally the game changer with new progression systems, new gear, a new house and champion. Can't wait for Thor. And more since our beta release. We've heard lots of feedback from our community on the state of PvE in Realm of Champions. With 3.0, we're making moves to create new PvP paradigm. Starting in the 3.0 build, Stronghold will be retired on the game. Thank God, because it is just like it's just a bit of a boring thing. In its place will come a brand new solo PvE experience, Pinnacle Quest. You'll still see Stronghold return from time to time, but not in the same context as it exists now. Great. And that's the problem is a lot of those world quests actually ended up turning into that stuff, which I think is great for rotation. But again, you have to kind of like create stuff that's kind of more of a, I don't know, interest. So Pinnacle Quest War Thor's Crucible, that's going to be something that is going to be applicable to the house. In Pinnacle Quest, you'll take a single champion and into a series of onslaught battles at a single location before facing off against the champion in your final showdown. That's great. If you defeat the champion, you'll progress to the next location and repeat the process. So similar to Stronghold, but I guess it's got a new flavour to it. Again, all these things are like, I need to see it to believe it, and I don't think there's much in the way of footage to go fully over this, but still, it's I guess it's kind of a thing, as they say here, threat level. So I don't know if this again will have things like the adaptoids in an attacking. Like I don't know if that's going to be the case with this, and that's going to be the thing of going like, is it going to be exactly the same? But it might have some similarities. It's just because it says a series of onslaught battles, and I understand it will be solo, but then again, it's like, well, have they tailored the difficulty to be very much kind of like doable, not doable? That's going to be a key thing as well. So again, there's lots of things that still need questions that need answers for. I do think that this will have to be released for me to really kind of sink my teeth in. Pinnacle Quest difficulty is not only divided into challenge levels, but also difficulties: normal, heroic, and master. Each difficulty consists of 24 challenge levels across 6 maps. And completing a difficulty will earn you a trove of rewards in addition to the rewards each challenge level. Once you complete a difficulty, you will unlock the next difficulty level for that set, which I guess is good if you can use specific types of champions. But it says here, Pinnacle Quest progression is a champion specific. Well, not so much of a fan of that. Have access to rewards on every champion in your roster. This applies to future champions release as well. I think that really applies that you're going to have a champion built to like the top rank, and as well you're going to have to consider your synergies, and as well the difference is if there's if there's health potions within it, then that's fine. That's cool. How does it say here? Pinnacle quests are tests of power first and foremost. This means that there'll come a point at which you will not be able to progress. Each difficulty contains 24 missions, each of which is harder than the last. While specific tuning is subject to change prior to release of each set of challenge levels, the appropriate recommended power range for each difficulty is that. What? I guess this comes to the point with new gear. The rarer, the stronger, and the more potent the gear, the better it's going to be to like take on things like that Master one there. And as some of the stuff like I think gearing up 3.0 does feel to me that when you come in, there'll be more of a divide with players when it comes to power levels, and as well how Kabam use that matchup sequence. What to really explain with that is like, well, if champions are more powerful than they are, then that presents an issue. Not just for stuff like this, because you won't be getting the inroads of top elements of power to take on the content, but the same thing applies with how that impacts on Arena Conquest, and it will if that's the case. So the definition of power is going to have to be something that Kabam look into, especially if this is something of saying like, right, well, it's going to get more difficult down the line. And looking at here, like my rating, I don't know if it's based off like this is your power rating or power that's underneath, because like you can say like there, well my power is 799, but my rating is 1246. Like which stat is referred to as the power stat? I want to assume that it's the 1246 of this web warrior that's on screen right now. But still, again, it presents a problem that this isn't exactly a solo-based type of event. Well, it's kind of it is a solo type of event. But it's not really it's not something new. This is effectively, as I say, this is what is it? Onslaught. So what's the real thing with this? In any case, let's move on. Let's read up some more of this. In any case, bringing it back to the subject of like what is involved with this, I kind of feel very weird about this, and I don't know if like my take is going to be wrong in people's eyes. And it's like, well, it's my take. My take on this is that this just seems too similar because it's Onslaught at the end of the day. We're talking about the idea of like waves of enemies coming towards you, and I understand here like showdown with a boss fight, and it's like, yeah, okay, but it's Onslaught, and it's like there's nothing new about that. And yeah, okay, you can look to see like, okay, your power rating, you know, you can get stronger champions, you can build stronger champions. Maybe you, as you kind of like build your BR, you build the opportunity to get like rarer gear, stronger gear, legendary gear, and it's a case that your power rating will go up and up. So taking on this stuff is going to be a breeze down the line. But I think the main point to this is like, well, I like the idea of utilization of a map. The idea that we thought about back in the beginning when this came out was exploration, and you could explore the map. Kabam put together these fantastic maps, so you kind of think, well, why can't you utilize the full extent of these maps for exploration? Like you go up to a certain point, it's like a gate, so to speak, and you have to do a fight within that gate, and then you move on to the next part, and you move on to the next part, and you can explore things, you can open up stuff, like chests and stuff. The things that, and again, not to say this game has to be like a MOBA, because Kabam, I don't think have ever referred to this game as being a MOBA, but it's a case of going like, right, well, if they're considering this game very much kind of like MMO to a degree, or kind of like an RPG, then if it's kind of an RPG MOBA or a MOBA RPG, however they want to describe it, then it needs to play into that element of we're doing something different that is, again, different from the team aspect of what you're doing, and as well different from the story and solo progression. It just, again, presents something of difference. And as I said, like, I don't know if this is a wrong take to have on the subject of how this game should be, but it will be very telling as to where Marvel Future Revolution comes in as a RPG open world game, and where it's kind of like this game is trying to be competing with the likes of League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Super War, but is cutting their own kind of like segment as being unique in their own right. That's kind of like just my take there of how I kind of feel that this would be better served. But as I said, I could be wrong on that take. Let's move on and talk about some other things. Keep in mind that since missions 1 to 3 are Onslaught, you'll alternate between waves of Adaptoids, odd waves, waves of champions, even waves. Champions you fight in each Onslaught will also follow the specific structure. One of the champions will be the champion whose house of the map belongs to, and the others will be different. Oh, it's random, okay. When it comes to the fourth mission, you'll be taking on Thor Giant Slayer, a warrior chosen for his legendary exploits to test your strength. The War Thor has given him full discretion to challenge you however he sees fit, and his power will grow each consecutive time you face him, so beware. Okay, well that makes perfect sense. That's the narrative of the story of this particular thing. Unlike the threat level, Failing a mission does not change your difficulty or reverse your progression in the Pinnacle Quest. Good, so attempt each mission as often as you like. You find yourself stuck, make sure to seek out more power by raising your battle rating to unlock new tiers of gear. But there you go, battle rating, that's the thing. Getting rewards from the store or event objective. Well, again, there you go. While we don't think Stronghold has a clear place as a permanent mode in the game, right now we know that it was a good idea. I think the thing is, with a lot of this content, it's always seems to be amalgamated into world quests, and world quests seem to they work, but that's the thing, they are effectively like copy and paste of the structure or the inner workings of what goes on in them. Nothing against that. It's just a case of well, right, are we healing? Are we not? Do we get health pots in this one? Do we not? Once you complete a series of 4 missions and move on to the next map, you replay the mission. Will change to complete map's highest difficulty. For example, you complete challenge 8, showdown at the Daily Bugle. You move on to Mutopia. Your play Pinnacle Quest will now be level 8 onslaught in Daily Bugle. Okay, but again, it's it's got some structures to strongholds in it. At each location you travel, a buff will be present to give particular champions an advantage. Cool. You can think this as a home field advantage of sorts. So essentially, if it's Wakanda, use Black Panther. Is it Kamatage, use Sorcerer Supreme. So bookworm, okay, there's all the buffs right there. I just like seeing Hammer Time. It just reminds me of MC Hammer. It's funny. And then you got here Thor's Mjolnir weapons deal plus 20% damage. Thor axe weapons deal plus 20% damage. Oh, I can't wait for Yamborn. It's my favorite. I will be back properly playing this game because Thor's coming back in, as well as the fact that I want to play Thor with Yamborn so badly, and at the same time I want to see what Mjolnir is like. I want to see what all this stuff is like, and I probably will start grinding in the next couple of weeks, probably next week, to do a little bit more, to kind of prepare myself, grab some more units, because I'm still free to play, by the way, so we'll see what happens there. And then the final stuff here, the final slide. And let's bring this into shot properly. Pinnacle Quest will release in sections over the weeks following 3.0's launch. Below is our current plan, but this is subject to change. So challenge levels 1 to 12 will be Wednesday the 5th of May 5th. Challenge levels 13 to 24 will be Tuesday, May 11th. And then Heroic will be May, and then June we'll see the Master difficulty. Do bear in mind this is where the meta of the game will change dramatically. And as I said, this will have some really, really massive applications to the way that the game functions. How will that happen, Rich? Well, if we're talking about the idea of increasing the power rating level of champions, and as well we're talking about the massive increase of things like weaponry by the medium of Avenger tier, which means that we'll have to see legendary weapons. It will mean that the threshold for epics is going to go through the roof, and Arena Conquest is going to be, now you'll have people, and again this is where matchmaking comes in, and this is why I said matchmaking is such a key priority, is if you've got players using legendary weapons, if you're increasing ranks of gear to exponential levels, then you will create a scenario of the tippity top stomping on people that are a little bit lower, if not a lot lower, because the matchmaking is terrible. So that's the thing. As long as Kabam put matchmaking as a top priority, right? Perfect. That's everything. All those 3, 4, 5 things ticked off, and this game can start existing as being a good quality game. There may be a bit of an exception when it comes to stats and synergies of gear, but that's maybe like a small thing there with that one. Or maybe it factors into maybe it's a 6 then. But still, it's good news. This is good news. It's been a good week for news and information, and yeah, hopefully get to see you in game in the next coming week. So that's been a video. Thank you very much for watching. Very excited, very positive. Still more stuff to be announced. Thanks so much for watching. See you very soon, and peace.